In studio, a member of the a movement in Togo called the Choboy movement. It's made up of the main political parties that are in opposition and also some human rights groups, and they are against a number of issues, especially heading up to the elections. And we want to speak to the leader of that movement, is in the person of Habia Ayao Nicodem, and he's joined us in studio. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, really, what is your concern with the elections in Togo when the issue of bloated register and people being likely to be disenfranchised was brought up? ECOWAS chair, in talks with President Nyasingbe, told the people to extend it by some day so they can rectify it, but you still have concerns with it. What is your major problem?
Thank you very much. We have a major and serious problem with election in Togo. This is not the first time. I think we had the Eyadema as a former president who passed away. He ruled that country with iron hand for 38 good years, and we never have fair election in Togo. And now it's his son, Fonya Singbe, on power, and he spent 10 years already, and they changed the constitution we had in 1992 for popular votes, and they changed it in 2002. So that gives them chance to go to the election as long as they want to. And we are fighting for democracy, and we cannot accept the same thing anytime, because we don't know when this will be stopped. That's why we agree with the visit of President Mahama, who is also the ECOWAS chairman. So Mahama proposed 10 days, but we disagree, because what is happening in Togo is there's nothing right in the election organization. And what we need in Choboy movement is we should have transition, like 1 year transition. So we will work on the reform. We will do the reform. That will give us chance to work on all the electoral process. Because if you see Togo, we don't have a technical electoral commission. Our electoral commission is pure political, and it's the Minister of Interior that organizes the election in Togo. So
it's a government agency organizing the election?
It's a government agency organizing the election. That's why this time we say we don't need this kind of election anymore in our country, because this will create a violence in the country, and people will die and people will run away. People will come to Ghana, go to Benin, go to Burkina Faso. We say our former leaders like J. Christo Limpio, Agboibo, Edem Kojo, Ninevi, they have done the same thing with Eyadema. We are not going to accept this kind of role.
So the point you're making is that the 10 days that you've been given to extend so you can rectify your issues with the Electoral Commission, the register and all, is not enough, and you need what? A whole year to be able to do that? We
need a whole year to have a transition, because there's no convenient
transition. What do you mean?
Transition means Fonya Singbe are not going to be there. We are going to choose someone to be there, like in Burkina Faso. So after the reforms, because we need electoral reform, we need constitutional reform and institutional reform. So after all this reform, we can have peaceful election in Togo, because Fonya Singbe is a dictator, and you can never have election with a dictator.
How do you mean he's a dictator? He took over from his father,
yeah,
when his father passed on.
Sure.
And Togo over the period has not had any civil issues, any violence, and going into an election which is just a few days away, do you not think that these issues you're raising are it's certainly going to create some form of political tension in the country?
There is a political tension already. Before he came to the power in 2005, he killed more than 1,500 Togolese.
Do you have that on record?
I have a record. We have everything. They killed more than 15 people before Fonya Singbe came to power. So we don't need this anymore. Because if you want to insist in organizing this election, it will be trouble, violence in Togo. That's why we don't want. I'm a human rights defender and politician. We need peaceful election in Togo.
how do you intend to be? Have you dialogued with the president? Have you dialogued with the Interior Ministry, which you say organizes the party? Have you raised issues with some of these issues with them? And what has the response been?
We have done everything. A lot of things. We discussed with them. Let me tell you something here. Togo's problem is serious problem. And you can never trust the government. We know them. Anything you do, they try everything their best to, how can I, to not respect whatever they said. They never respect their own word. So that's why we're saying that even right now there are strikes in Togo. The workers are on strike. People are not working in Togo. Last week, in Dapaon, northern side of Togo, there are big movements over there in Dapaon. In Blei.
And what is the reason?
Because they are not paying the workers, but they want to use more than 19 million to organize a election. They want to go to election.
That's a labor issue, and I don't think that
it's the same thing. No. Laborers, they have to pay them. If there is there's no freedom, there's no peace in the country, how can we work? You know, the way you respect yourself in Ghana, laborers, the government respect laborers in Togo is not the same thing. People are suffering because there's no changes. If you can't talk about democracy, you can't talk about development without democracy. You can't talk about democracy without development. So Togo remains only the dictatorship country in West Africa,
but
apart
Togo
from Gambia.
Is practicing, at least Togo we know is practicing democracy.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. You wake up dead people. Togo is a pure dictatorship country. Let me tell you, Togo is a pure dictatorship country.
How do you justify that?
I've been to prison 2 times. Ayadma put in prison 2 times. Let me tell you, right now, Farnya Singbe put his own brothers in prison. Farnya Singbe put Bojona, the one who helped him to in 2010 election, during election, he's in prison right now. A lot of people. Abba Bertin, who was here in Ghana, Farnya Singbe wants to arrest him. Olivier, Commandant Olivier. A lot of people. He's danger than his father.
If there is, of course, the issue of democracy comes with, you know, as they say, democracy is an expensive venture. It comes with some casualties or difficulties. But is it that he is just taking the law into his own hand and executing or jailing these people, or they have done something against the state, for which reason they are being dealt with? He just want to be free because he's afraid of those people. Like if you make a coup d'etat, those who help you to succeed that coup d'etat, you have to put them aside to be free to do whatever you want to do. That's his system. Farnya Singbe want to put those people aside and remain on power. Okay, so going forward, we want to wrap this interview up. What are the 4, 5 simple step things you think that ECOWAS as a sub-regional body, what do you want them to do to ensure that at least Togo also goes to the polls in a very peaceful manner?
First thing, we want ECOWAS to review all the election process in Togo because there's nothing clear over there. All the process is corrupted. There's nothing good over there. So we want ECOWAS to help us to go back, even if it's 3 months, to go through all the electoral process, clean everything. You see, the second thing, we need a transition because we can never accept a Yadema rulers with iron hand more than 38 years, and his son came, he spent already 10 years. So now we don't know how long he wants to stay because according to the information, after this election, he will change the rule. He will increase the year from 5 years to 7 years. That's their plan.
For one term.
For one term. 5 years to 7 years. We have to be careful. So if we don't want war in Togo, we want ECOWAS to help Togo to solve this problem once and for all.
And that will be by holding up and then extending the number of days that you need to rectify all of these.
Sure. So
but have you made any such proposals to the ECOWAS body, the sub-region?
We send a lot of letters to ECOWAS chairman, John Mahama. Yeah.
And since when and what has the response been?
So that's why he came to Togo last time, So we're still waiting for him. Still working on there are a lot of demonstrations program plan for these days, tomorrow and next week. Yeah.
But how are you able to justify that these issues that you've brought to the fore to the ECOWAS leadership is something that they can work with, and it is not just the interest of a few groups in Togo?
Interest of few groups in Togo. You know, in every country, poor people are more than rich people. So those who are suffering in Togo are poor people. Yeah, people don't have money to pay their kids school fees. People in Togo, so now people are getting $20,000 safer a month. You see, their rights are not respected. So let me tell you that the majority are suffering in Togo, and diaspora too doesn't agree with what is going on in Togo. So if you don't pay attention and the ECOWAS didn't do its job, there will be trouble, violence, war in Togo.
We hope it doesn't degenerate into war, and you know, at least we need a peaceful sub-region, because when anything happens in a neighboring country, the countries that are surrounding it also suffer. We want to leave it here and wish you all the best. We hope that at least, as you've said, you've addressed the ECOWAS chair, President John Dramani Mahama, and
because we don't want what happened in Burkina Faso to be happening in Togo.
Exactly.
Because they didn't pay attention to what happened in Burkina Faso.
And then there was a spillover.
Before they went over there. We don't want the same problem in Togo, because now we are ready to do everything possible to solve our problem.
Okay, thank you very much. You heard the leader of Choboy movement. He is also, now the Choboy movement is made up of a number of civil society groups and human rights groups, and also the opposition political parties in Togo, and they are calling for a proper reform of their voters register and the electoral process to ensure that they get things in order before they go to the polls. So we'll keep an eye on the development in Togo and then bring you updates. You've been watching myself and Habia Ayao Nicodem. He's a political leader in Togo. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
And do have
thank you.
That's a powerful handshake. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right.
You're welcome.